Hey guys, it's Emily again, and I'm just hopping on a few minutes early just to test everything and make sure things are working. So if you are joining us today, please send me a message in the comments just to say it's working or like a thumbs up or something, just so I know you can see me and hear me. Hey Amy, today we are doing part 2 of our volume fanning technique practice, and the technique we're going through today is on strip pickup. Hey Aileen. Okay, so I've got thumbs up, so that means that you guys can hear and see me, hopefully. So I mean, hey. Okay, good. I'm getting comments. I see you in here. Hey Levi. Okay, good. You can hear me and see me. So as I was saying, today we are doing part 2 of our live volume pickup. Sorry, I'm just trying to read the comments as well. My eyesight's not what it used to be. Okay, you can see in here. Perfect. Hey, Chandrina. Thank you for joining us again. Today, last time we did sticky dot pickup or double-sided tape or something where you have like a bounce pad where you can fan out the lashes and then pick them back up and put them on your client. Today, we're working on a couple of on-strip fanning techniques. So I personally prefer on-strip fanning. I mentioned in the last video because then you don't have to relocate the lashes, which takes extra time, but I'll demonstrate that today. There's a few different types. Some techniques I'm better at, some techniques I'm not so good at. Like the wiggle technique is not my favorite. I can do it maybe once in 5, once in 10, something like that. I'm not very consistent with that one unless I'm just doing 2D. So let's get started. Just gonna bring you guys over to my workstation that I actually haven't even taken apart since the last time I was with you guys. Oop, I need to make sure. Hang on a sec. Make sure nothing gets in my way. Okay, I'm just gonna flip the camera for you guys. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments. So this is where I've been putting the lashes. Like once I fan them, you know how sometimes they stick to your tweezers and then they get really annoying when you're practicing. So I have barrier film here. It's just like a really light tack plastic film that I have sticking up the wrong way. So I kind of just put my fans on there and it sticks to it so it doesn't stick to my tweezers when I'm trying to pick up my next fan. Okay, so I still have the same tile here that I had last time. Let me just move this over. Can you guys tell me if... Oop, sorry if I'm making you dizzy. Can you guys tell me if this is clear and you guys can see what is happening here? So this is my tile. This is the tile that I had last time, and I still have the Scotch. It's not really a dot. It was a roll that I cut, but it's the double-sided stick. I have the reusable dot, and I have just plain double-sided tape here. This is what I used last time when we did our video, and this time, I'm just going to flip it over because I'm not actually using this on clients. So I'm just going to flip that over and stick some more lashes on there. I've got 0.07 lashes. These are Beauty lashes, and they're already pre-cut because I always do that whenever I get my trays, is I pre-cut them with a craft knife so that it's easier for me just to grab a chunk, and then when I'm done with it, I just toss it. I use tweezers that I am not using on a client. Obviously, I'm not working on a client today, but these are clean and disinfected tweezers that I only use to pick out of my box. Hey, Danya. So this is actually a practice case of lashes, so I didn't have to cut them up, but sometimes I just do anyway. So my preferred technique is the one that I'm going to be showing you today, but I usually also have a backup just in case, because sometimes it doesn't always work the way we want it to. So in the event that the lashes aren't picking up or fanning like I wanted to, I usually also have a small little, oh, I miss you too, Danya. I also usually have a little small strip of double-sided tape as well, just in case I need to use it. Hey, Susan. Thanks for joining us today. Hey, Catherine. Today we're going to do on-strip fanning, and I am going to be using 0.07 lashes. And I showed you guys what tweezers I was using last time. And I still have those tweezers out because I haven't put them away. So here we go. I'm going to start with my Dumonts. They're usually my favorite. So please, as I get started with this, please let me know whether or not you can see clearly enough. So usually the first fan or two, I like to use the double-sided tape because when I do on strip fanning, I like to have a little bit of extra stick on the side. So if I'm just starting a new strip, then I'll actually pull off the first fan and fan it on the double-sided tape first, and then use that on the client, and then I'll start using the actual sticky strip. So with 0.07s, you don't want to exceed 4D. And the reason I'm showing on 0.07s is because we have people in this group of different volume levels. So 0.07s are the easiest to practice with. But as we progress, we'll be switching to 0.05s and maybe even 0.03s. These practice sessions, hey Joanna, can I tell you which Dumonts they are, Catherine? They are, that's a good question. They are the 7SP Inox M. I don't know what any of that means. I think the Inox is the type of metal it is. M is probably matte. Hey, Amanda. 7SP is probably the model number. I'm not sure. These are the lightest weight Dumonts, my faves. Yes, Susan, they are also my faves. I do force myself to use other tweezers as well, but these are usually my go-to tweezers. If I am at the end of my lashing day and my hands are getting tired, or if I'm kind of feeling off that day, off my game, then these are the ones that I will reach for. I have several pairs of these. I've gotten them from the Lash collection before. I've gotten them from I Love Lashes, Teresa Smith in the UK, and I've also gotten a pair from Flawless Lashes by Loretta. So there are quite a few brands that carry these types of tweezers just because, I don't know, they're my favorite. They're the most consistent, in my opinion, that I've tried. But I do like to hand test them before I buy them, which is not always the easiest to do. So that's why it's good to go to an event or a conference or a trade show or something where you can actually hand test them and make sure they work for you and your fanning technique before you buy them. That's my preference. Some people swear by ordering online. It's not my preference. I'm also the type of person that likes to try on clothes before I buy it. So I don't love ordering online clothes either. Okay, so now that I've taken, you know what, let's take the first two fans off. So on your client, sometimes you have lashes. Hey, Mary, sometimes they have little lashes that can't hold a 4D or a 3D. So I'll even remove one or two. Oh, these lashes are kind of sticking together a bit. These lashes are a little bit old. I've had them for a while. These are not the ones that I'm using on clients. I've just had them sitting here for practice and for videoing with. So sometimes the tips stick together, and if that's the case, then you can just take a spoolie and just brush through them sideways and this way, and then that will usually take care of that. Oh, that didn't pick up properly. Sometimes your tension, your hand tension on the tweezers really affects how your lashes pick up. So I've noticed that at the end of my day, when my hand is getting a little bit tired, sometimes my fans will fall apart. Or sometimes if it's a really long full set and I'm on like towards the end and my hands are getting tired, sometimes the fans will fall apart when you're trying to pick them up, and it's not your tweezers. Sometimes it's your tweezers, but it's usually not your tweezers. It's usually just your hand tension. You're getting tired. Okay, so I'm going to bring this a little bit closer and hopefully it focuses. I'm going to show you because my preferred on strip fanning technique is there's a lot of little moves, like little nuanced moves. So what I do is I choose how many lashes I'm going to pick up, and then I'm going to peel them off the strip until they're about 2 millimeters still stuck on. Okay? And then one option is to do that roll method where you just kind of take your tips of your tweezers and just roll it open and just kind of play with it a little bit. If you need to pinch it open, you can do that as well. And what I'm doing is I'm using the stickiness of the strip to hold the fan open. So if you're watching, please let me know in the comments if this is clear enough or if it's close up enough that you can see what I'm doing. Hey, Melissa. So the reason I prefer this method is because it's fairly quick and it holds the fan in place so that I can actually see, hey Liz, I can actually see how many lashes I have open there, and it keeps it open so I can really go to the bathroom, go for coffee, come back, and the fan is still here. Also, if I fan 4 of them, or say if I fan 5 or 6 of them at a time, and I'm like, maybe this lash only needs 3, then I can just pick up 3 and it's fine. Hey, Ruby. So this is my preferred. And then when you go to the next fan, you just do the same thing. You kind of eyeball how many you want, pull it off so that it's still stuck about 2 millimeters. And then you can either roll it open with the tips of your tweezers, or some boot tweezers are good where you don't have to use the tip of your tweezer, but you just kind of roll it with the boot. I'll show you in a few minutes. If it's not opening properly, you can just pinch it open like that. Right now I have a 5 here. Here, let me show you like this. I have a fan of 5 ready to go. But I don't have to pick up all 5. If I'm like, oh, well, that lash can only handle 4. It's a pretty strong lash, but let's do 4. Then you just pick up 4. If I wanted 5, I could have picked up 5. If I wanted 6, I would have picked up 6. Obviously not in 0.07s, but you get what I'm saying. Or even 2, if I just want 2. These lashes are really stuck together. I'm wishing I had a spoolie here. Then I can just pick up 2 for a 2D. So, I don't remember if I already gave you guys this disclaimer. These practice sessions are not a replacement of taking a volume course. If you have not already taken a volume course, there is so much more that they teach you than just fanning. Fanning is actually a very small part of your volume class. So I do still highly recommend you take a proper volume class so that you can learn all the other information that I'm not giving you. Hey, Vivian. So let me know if you guys have your tweezers ready and your lashes ready and you're practicing along with me. So I showed you the pick and roll. There's a lot of names for it. I call it the pick and roll, where you just pick it up a little bit and then you roll. This is usually a pretty quick way. These tips are sticking together a little bit, so that does make it a little bit, take a little bit longer. Or, hey Aileen, oh you are, oh good, yay! I love the photos that you posted of you practicing last time. They were awesome. So this fan isn't awesome because you see this one is a lot further apart than the others, so it's not exactly symmetrical between the lashes, each lash. Would I still use this one on a client? Probably, yeah, I would. But if I were doing a competition or something, I would throw this fan away. Or I would just stick it back down and see if I can save it. But sometimes trying to save the fan takes longer than just making a new one. So I kind of saved it a little bit. It's still a little bit wide in between the two. It's kind of like Star Trek. What is it, Star Trek? Where they're like this, you know? You don't want that. Okay, so another method, which I already kind of showed you, was when you pick it up the same amount, so leave it stuck on about 2 millimeters, and then you just pinch it open. So you just kind of pinch it open, but while you're pinching it open, you're sticking it down to the sticky strip so that stays open. Long live and prosper. Yes, Tanya. I should have known that you'd be a Star Trek fan too. I mean, not too. Like I've watched it before, but I'm not like one of those diehard fans. But I should have known. See, so this is like a medium fan. This isn't super narrow, but it isn't super wide either. Somebody asked me the other day what constitutes a narrow fan or a wide fan. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to try and do a really wide fan and show you what they look like, because it's not that easy to explain. So this is what I would consider, if I can pick it up, this is what I would consider a fairly wide. See, this tweezer does not like 5D. Let's get rid of it. This is probably the widest fan I would use. Yes, Trekkie for life. Yeah, this is the widest fan that I would probably use. I don't like it when they get wide to the point where they're kind of waterfalling down. And I've seen people do these with mega volume, but I don't prefer. I don't even know if I can pick this up like this. But you guys have seen it before where you have like super, super wide fans. This to me would be a super wide fan that I wouldn't use unless I was covering a gap. But even then, it just gives a more messy look overall, and it's not something that I prefer. Hey, Shirley, if you are going for a more neater look, then you want narrower fans or like medium narrow fans. I'm just going to try and pick up 4. So this is what I would consider a narrow to medium fan. I've seen more narrow than this, and I've seen more wider than this, obviously, but this would be like a narrow to medium. So basically you want the lashes to still be facing up. You don't want your fan to be so wide that your lashes are going sideways. Does that make sense? Leave me a message if that makes sense, because I don't know if I'm explaining this properly. So this is more of like a medium to narrow fan. Hey, Wendy. Okay, I'm getting thumbs up. So, okay, so I guess I am explaining. Okay, makes sense. Okay, thanks, Susan. Yeah, because I see it all the time where people are like, oh, look at this fan is so beautiful, but then they're like water falling to the side, which, I mean, in some angles it looks fine, but when you have all your lashes or all your fans like that in a full set, it looks really, really messy. So unless that's the look you're going for, I personally, when I'm wearing lashes, I don't like it when they look like they're falling off to the side. So that's just my preference. Hey, Cecily. So, on-strip fanning, basically that's what it is. And you're not taking the time to relocate your fan, which is what I like. Because what we did last week was sticky dot. So you had to pick up your lashes, relocate your lashes, and then fan them out. And that, sometimes I still do that if I can't get it on strip looking the way I want. Man, these lashes. So Beauty Eyelashes are usually my favorite lashes. But I think I've just had these lashes for too long and they're starting to stick together. So for me, this is a wide 3D fan. I typically don't go this wide. I would go a little bit more narrower than this. Well, okay, it depends on the look you want. The narrower you go, the denser it looks. The wider you go, the fluffier it looks. So you still want to fan them out. Like, you don't want to just pick up like this and have like a chunky, what Trish would call a chunky dunker? Chunky dunker? And because when you have fans like this, they're not really even fans. They're just like, you just picked up a chunk of lashes and put them on. So you don't really want that. You still want them to look intentional, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to switch tweezers. As I just said, that sometimes is not your tweezers. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Or sometimes it's you with those tweezers that day. How long do you think most tape or strips last before lashes stick together or fall apart? That is a great question. And it really depends on the brand and how you're keeping it. If you have it in a really hot place, that will affect the stickiness of your strip. It'll get really goopy. Yeah, I guess the best answer is that it really depends on where you're keeping it and what brand. Beauty lashes usually have a pretty sticky strip, and that's why I like them. These ones have been kept in this room, which is in the attic of my house, which gets really, really hot in the summer. And it's been over a year that I've had them. So I would say like maybe a year, really. You didn't mean to stump me. It's one of those questions where it's kind of like it depends. But in this case, with these beauty lashes, I've had them in a really hot room for over a year. But as I said, if I had a spoolie with me, which I don't, I could have just brushed through these and it would have been fine. So these are a mini boot tweezer from Flawless Lashes by Loretta. That's her beautiful branding on here. And so I'm just going to show you the same technique, but with a mini boot fan. I'm going to pick it up a little bit. I'm going to roll it with my tweezer. And then pick the guy up. This is a really wide 3D fan. Another technique that's on strip that's also still relocating. I think some people call it like a lonely fan technique. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that name. Hey Annie, I'm not a huge fan of that name, but it's the same as the sticky dot technique where you just pick up your lashes and then you relocate them on another part of the strip, and then you just kind of fluff them open in whatever technique that you use, and then you pick them up. Amy says, I love those tweezers. I'm not usually a fan of boot tweezers. I am also not usually a fan of boot tweezers, but these ones I like more than boot tweezers. I find that boot tweezers are too chunky and they get in my way when I'm applying the lash to my client. So this is like a medium, a little bit wide fan. Okay? Let me know if you guys have any other questions because, you know, we're just here practicing. So with these mini boot tweezers, I'm not so much using the tip to fan it open, but I can use like it's kind of the tip, but not really the tip. Just the tip, huh? Wendy says, from the perspective of materials engineering, I'd say a year is about max for most backing adhesive strips. Just wondered what your experience has been with different brands. Okay, so hey Jill. So Wendy, I've had beauty lashes last longer than a year before it got like annoyingly sticky. But it depended on the environment that I kept it in. And yes, I love that style of mini boot tweezers. Yes, they are nice. I have had them last for longer. I have some trays that I've had for 5 or 6 years that are still good. I have some Lash collection trays that I've had for maybe 5, 6 years that are still good. but the environment that I kept them in was like a cooler room. It had air conditioning in the summer, and so it really, really depends. It's just like how you store your adhesives. It really depends on your environment that you're storing it in. I've also had a different brand of lashes where the lashes are still good, but Lash long and prosper. I've had another brand of lashes where the sticky strip just came right off the sticker. So I opened them and I tried to try them again to see how good they were, and it just like they all fell off. It's not that the lashes fell off the sticky strip fell off the sticker. So what you can do with that, if you still want to use the lashes, is you just take the whole sticky strip that came off and stick them onto a double-sided tape, and then you're good to go. So yeah, this pick and roll technique is the one that I use most often. And as I mentioned, I usually have a double-sided tape on my tile anyway. So if I'm having problems with fanning it on here, then I'll just relocate it to my double-sided tape and then fan the way we showed you in the last video. So do we have any other questions about like tweezers or lashes or anything like that? So these are the 45-degree angle tweezers from Mint Lashes. I showed you guys this last time. And with these ones, because it's a straight bottom, it's not a curved bottom, I also use the tip to fan it open as well. And remember, the sweet spot on your tweezers will differ between even the same tweezers. Like the same brand of tweezers. Can you see them? Can I see what? Aileen says this is her favorite type of tweezer. The 45-degree angle tweezer, Aileen, is this what you're talking about? Yeah, there's so many different kinds. And everyone has a different preference because it depends on your fanning preference as well. Your sweet spot is different depending on sometimes what technique you're using as well. It's been her email signature. Jill says Lash Long and Prosper has been her email signature since 2012. I remember that when getting emails from you. I thought it was very clever. Hey, Sandy. So as I mentioned in the last video, you want to make sure your bases are not flat and pokey. You want to make sure they're nice and thin so that you can properly wrap around the natural lash. Hey, Farah. And so that you can make sure that there's no edge. When they are growing out and your client can feel an edge, that's when they start picking. Or when they comb through their lashes and it pulls on the edges, that's when it flicks the lashes off sometimes. Or it can be painful as well. So you want to make sure that your bases are nice and thin and wrapped and not flat or like a T-bar. Sometimes, actually, easy fan lashes, all the easy fan lashes that I've ever tried, give you a T-bar, so I don't like to use easy fan lashes. Okay, so you want to make sure that's nice and thin, and especially when you start getting to mega volumes as well, when you're using more lashes, you want to be really careful that the bases are nice and thin so that there's no edge to catch on. Also, there's the wiggle technique, which I'm not very good at, but I'll attempt to show you anyway. Usually for the wiggle technique, here, let's switch back to the Dumots. Usually for the wiggle technique, I will only ever really do it if I'm doing a 2D. So you just hold on to the lashes around middle. Some people pull it off, some people don't. And then you just release and tighten your tension as you're kind of moving the lashes to try and fan them out. And then when you see them at the fan angle that you want, you just like quickly pull them, you know? So I do this most often with 2D. Hey, Brent. Okay, Amy says, I have never been able to wrap with easy fans either, and they always end up popping off when I brush through them. I think it's because there's way too much adhesive on the strip. It could be that, but is more likely because, well, they put the adhesive on the strip near the bottom to keep the bases together so that you can fan them easily without the bases falling apart. Is this clear, guys? Can you guys see this? I wonder if okay, there we go. So they put like an extra little bit of goopy, like not adhesive, not our adhesive, but like a more gluey type, just along the bottom so that the bases will stay together as you fan them. That does a few things. First of all, you can't wrap with them. You're right, you can't wrap with them. But also, it leaves it as a T-bar because it doesn't open up. Yes, it's good. Okay, good. It's good, like it's clear. Okay, so for 2D wiggle, I just grab 2 lashes and then I just kind of go back and forth until it's the width that I want, and then I just pull it off the strip. When it comes to more than that, that's when I start having difficulties with it. So let's try 3 lashes. So this is also another on strip fanning technique that some people are so good at. I'm not one of those girls. So that's a 3D. That's an okay 3D. But what I don't like about this technique for me personally is that the base is very stemmy. When I make a fan, I like to start my fan as low as I can. I hope that makes sense, because see how it's more open? I mean, this isn't that great of an example, but see if I can save it. Okay, I can't save that one. So you guys saw how the base was for my wiggle fan, right? When I do my fans, I like for the gap I like for the lashes to start fanning as low as possible near the base. So I don't know if you can tell the difference between this fan and my wiggle 3D fan, but the wiggle 3D fan didn't start until where my tweezers were. Like the actual open part of the fan didn't actually bloom open until where my tweezers were. But this fan starts nearer to the base. Does that make sense? So, and that's what I prefer. And that's one of the reasons I don't prefer the wiggle technique for myself. I mean, I'm sure it's also because I'm not that good at it. But do you see that? The fan doesn't actually start until my tweezers with the wiggle technique. So that's not my preference, but it is the fastest fanning technique that I've ever seen. So if you're going for quick and you don't mind a stemmy base, then maybe go with that. But I don't personally prefer it. I like the speed of it though. And as mentioned before, I also like, see, the fan doesn't actually start until where it hits my tweezers. So I find that if I did this and adhered it to the lash, I feel like that fan would just close up. I guess it depends on how far I adhered it, but yes, it's the first thing I noticed. Your fans open deep at the base. Yes, yes. Aileen, I like that look better. I feel like you get a more fluffier look. And when I'm judging a competition, I really look at how stemmy people's bases are. And maybe a little bit too much. Oh, my finger's cramping up. Yeah, maybe I look at it a little bit too much, but I really look at that when I'm judging a competition, how stemmy the bases are. Because it's easier to make a stemmy base than it is to make a wider base. Does that make sense? So this wouldn't make an ugly set. You could still do a set with stemmy bases. It's just not my personal preference. I feel like when you do that, the base of your client's lashes doesn't look as full and dense. Like it looks more sparse, like you can almost count how many natural lashes they have just by counting the stems. So yeah, wiggle technique, the fastest technique there is that I've seen, but it's just not my favorite result. Okay, let's try this with a different pair of tweezers, shall we? These boot tweezers, as I mentioned last time, are from Lash Boutique Pro. Right there. And these are just your classic boot tweezers. Some people really swear by these. And I feel like for a pick and roll technique, they can be really good because they have that angled, curved base to really help you roll it without demolishing it. And I like that most boot tweezers, sorry, it's going a little blurry, guys. I like that. Here, let me just put this down, how about? And then maybe it won't be moving around so much. What was I saying about boot tweezers? Oh, I like that you get that full closure coverage. So usually with boot tweezers, you have the complete bottom is your sweet spot, and you can hold a lot of lashes if you're doing mega volume. I don't do much mega volume, so maybe if I started doing more of mega volume, then I would like boot tweezers better. I don't know. Maybe when we get to the mega volume section of these videos, I'll decide that I like boot tweezers more. But the reason I don't love them now for my own technique is because I have to hold them at a 90-degree angle to work with them. But also, I find that when I'm actually putting this on, say this is my client's lashes, when I'm actually applying the lash, this butt of the boot gets in my way and it starts moving my client's other lashes, which moves her eye. So they just feel a little bit bulky to me. But as I say, maybe when we get into the mega volume portion where we're working with more 0.03s or 0.05s, then maybe I will appreciate these a little bit more. We'll see. So, I don't even know. Hey, let's try wiggling with these. I don't know if I can wiggle with these or not. But as I mentioned before, this is the start of a strip. So, for on-strip fanning, I don't typically leave it on here. But if I was doing a wiggle technique, then it might be fine. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work for me. You really have to watch every aspect of your hand when you're doing wiggle technique, which is maybe one of the other reasons I don't prefer it as well, because as I mentioned earlier, I just like to have the fan there, go for coffee, come back from coffee, and the fan is still there, waiting for me. So these are the inner corner tweezers that I got from the Lash shop. I just love the color of these. They're just so pretty. And I really like them for inner corner lashes because this bump here gets you over the client's nose if you are right-handed doing the left eye. I showed you guys all these lashes or all these tweezers last time, and I put links to them too, and I'll do that again today. When this video gets posted, this is a very narrow fan, and it's good when you're doing a super dense set. Not to be mistaken for just grabbing them without fanning at all, because that does not make a good look. Unless you're using super thin lashes and you're doing spikes, in which case, go nuts with it. Tweezers. I'm trying to think of what other on-strip fanning there is. We've showed you wiggle. We've showed you this guy where you kind of pick it up and then you pinch it open. And the pick and roll. I think that's really it for on-strip fanning. But let me know in the comments what technique you like of wiggle technique, pick up and roll, or pick up and fan. I should really start naming these. Let me know which techniques are your favorites of the ones that we've done today and why in the comments. Tickle the toes. I don't think that's a fanning technique, Liz. Tickle the toes, but we can make it one, I'm sure. Shirley is a wiggler. Okay. I think that wiggling is so fast, and I love how fast it is. I mean, there really isn't a wrong way of doing this as long as you're getting the result that you're going for. I call it the stripper. What do you call the stripper? Shirley, I find it is faster and I find that is faster and eliminates one step, making it a bit faster overall. I agree. I think the wiggle technique is the fastest way of fanning that I've ever seen. When you grab and move to the side, then use the tips of the tweezers to spread the legs, tickling the toes. I like spreading the legs better than tickling the toes, to be honest. A few years ago when Vivian and I hosted Lynn Nguyen for a volume class, we were both in the class and pretty disruptive. Hey, Miranda. We were pretty disruptive. Sorry, Lynn, that we were so disruptive in your class, but we were making her fanning technique very sexual. I think we were spreading the legs and then laying it back. And what else were we doing? Oh, you kind of, dang it, what was it? I don't remember. I remember there was spreading the legs and there was laying it back. There was more, but I don't remember now. Miranda, how are you? I'm so sad I don't get to see you in May. Like all these events are getting canceled and it makes me really sad. Hey, Elizabeth. It does make me really sad because I look forward to these events and I look forward to seeing people. It's mostly the seeing my friends. It's like an event that brings us all together, right? Oh, Liz says so sad. Yes, it is. Miranda, you're sad too. Yeah, I'm really sad. I was really looking forward to seeing you and Gabby and hanging out with you guys. But we'll just have to find another reason to get together once all this craziness is over with, right? I mean, I'm sure that all the events at the later half of this year are going to be super full and sold out because by the time this is all over, everyone's going to be so hungry for a conference or for something. Hey, Alma. So, Alma, oh yeah, since you're joining us, we're talking about conferences right now, and the Skin Games is still happening as far as we know. So that is hopefully still going to be okay. It's in Palm Springs, and don't quite remember the dates. It's either the end of June or in July in Palm Springs. So it's going to be really hot and beautiful there. I heard it's going to be like really, really hot though. I don't do so well in the heat. Can't wait to meet you. Yes, I can't wait to meet you too, Alma. So the Skin Games, they are having their competition still. They have a lash competition. They also are having a brow competition and an aesthetics competition, like actually skincare competition. So you guys make sure to check that out, because as far as I know, it is still happening. And I'm going to be there. And so are a lot of other amazing people. Fingers crossed seeing everyone say, oh, good, Miranda. I will see you there then, for sure. I mean, as long as we're all allowed to travel, then we'll be there. And I've never been to Palm Springs before, so that's going to be exciting. And it's going to be a lot of fun, I think, because by that time... Okay, July 30th to August 1st. Thank you, Alma. So it's the end of July in Palm Springs. And, dude, you guys have to enter the competition because they've got cash prizes. And cash prizes. Let me just say that again. They have cash prizes. I think their Esthetician of the Year award winner, I thought I saw it was like $5,000. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. $5,000? $10,000 cash prize? Something like that. It was like a crazy amount where I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. So if you're an esthetician, you should definitely compete. Education Day, live competition, awards dinner. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. And as I say, by the time the end of July comes, people are going to be hungry for education and networking and just getting out of the house. Aileen says, I do the longest method, pick up, put back down, and pick it open. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. I'm a lazy person. Let's be honest. I'm a very lazy person. So if I have to take an extra step to relocate the fan or relocate the lashes, I'm probably not going to do it. Unless that's the only way I can do it. I'm always going to find what works and then try and find a more efficient way to do it. That's kind of what I do. I listen to the rules and I do what's going to work. And then I always think to myself, how can I make this more efficient? $5,000 to the best Lasher. Oh, $5,000 cash prize for the lash competition. You guys have to enter this. And $10,000 to esthetician, $5,000 to lashers. That's amazing. www.skingames.com to register. I will also be posting that in the description when this gets posted. Any other fanning related comments or questions, guys? Tweezer related, lashes related. Like, I'm always happy to share. I hope it's a go. That's amazing. Yeah, I hope so too. I really hope that this blows over quickly. I mean, now that we have so many businesses that are closed, there's something satisfying to watch others fan. You know what? I know what you're saying, Miranda. I agree. And actually, I'm considering, you know what? I might not. Maybe I won't tell you guys what I'm thinking of doing yet. I'm not going to tell you guys yet. It'll be a secret. Fanning, but with no talking. This one, obviously, there's talking because this is a practice video, so we're answering questions and stuff. But I am thinking of coming out with some videos where it's just fanning. Sandy says, can you show your favorite method again, please? Yes, absolutely. Let me see if I can, I wonder if I can zoom. Oh, I can. I'm learning new things. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in and hopefully it will still be clear. Hey, Martina. Okay, Sandy. So I have a couple of favorite methods. This is one of them, which is the pick and roll. So I'm going to just pick up the lashes until they're only stuck by 1 to 2 millimeters. Let them go. And then I'm going to take the tip of my tweezer and just roll at the base. Just roll them out. And usually beauty lashes are really good with this technique. But today I'm having issues. Okay, and just roll them out until they get to the width that you want. And then you just grab them and pick them up. So that's one of them. Oh, way better. Oh, good. Oh, that's your favorite method too, Miranda? Yeah, that is my favorite because it's usually quick. So I'm just going to do that again. Pick up the lashes. Roll them out. And as I say, it's usually quicker than this, but some of the lashes are sticking together today. So if that happens, you can just kind of pinch them open. And then pick those suckers up. And it's okay that this is not closed because once you dip it in your adhesive, usually it'll close back together and then it'll be able to lash your fan. Even, did you guys see that one that was like all crazy like this? Even when it's like this, sometimes you can still save it when you dip. Okay, pretend I'm dipping this in. When you dip, you just kind of lightly push that over. And then it goes back together. Okay, so that's the method that I always try for first. And if the lashes are cooperating, then it's great. If not, then I do this method where I skip that first rolling method. I always try to roll first anyway. Pick it up the same way so that there's only 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters left. And then slide your tweezers down to the base and then lightly pinch it open. Until you get to your desired fan width. And then pick them suckers up. Does that make sense, guys? And, oh, and with the rolling method and with the pinching open method. Hey, Eva, I hope I am pronouncing your name correctly. I think it's pronounced Eva, but I'm not 100% sure. Please correct me if I am saying your name wrong. Okay, so with this method, you can actually, what I like about it too is you don't have to be so accurate with how many you're picking up because you can pick them up, pinch them open, or roll them open, and then decide how many you want to pick up. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 lashes here that are somewhat fanned open. Aoife. Okay. Thank you. Aoife. Okay, so I have 7 here, but I don't have to pick up all 7. I can just be like, I feel like picking up 3. So you just pick up 3, and then now you have a fan of 4 that's already open, right? Or even with this, because it's right beside all the rest of the lashes, you could be like, I have 4 fan, but I want to pick up 5. You just grab one from the rest of them and you're good. So that's another reason why this is my favorite fanning method, but that's just a personal preference. And it's going to be different for everyone, and it's going to be different depending on what tweezers you use, what lashes you use. Some brands of lashes work better with some fanning techniques than others. I find that beauty eyelashes work really well with the rolling technique, usually. That one kind of went crazy. Your tweezers look so precise. Great grip. Thank you. These are Dumont's. I'm not really sure who I got these ones from because oh wait, I'm going to put on my magnifiers and then I'm going to see. I'll know who I got these from once I get my magnifiers on and look at them. These ones I got... Oh, maybe I lied. I think I got these ones from Loretta. When you work with your tools long enough, you kind of recognize them, if that makes sense. And when I got these from Loretta, there was a little bit of it wasn't a scratch, but just like a mark here. And so that's how I recognize them. Because they're all slightly different. But that's also why I really like Dumont's, is because they are very precise and they are very sharp. And I like the way they are, I want to say milled. I don't think they're milled, but they're filed really smooth. Sometimes I've dealt with tweezers where you run them across your lashes like this, and you can feel every imperfection in the filing when they finish. How they finish it. There we go. When they file it to finish it, sometimes it's very coarse, and you can feel every imperfection. So I really like Dumont's and other tweezers that are very finely finished because I like how smooth it is. Thank you, Aoife. You can watch me fanning all day and night. Well, this is gonna go on my YouTube channel after. So same as the other video that we did last week. Oh, we should talk about what fanning technique we should do next week. We've already done sticky dot, and now we've done on strip fanning. Next week, let's do pinching method, shall we? I suck at it, but that's what practicing is for, right? It's definitely one of my least favorite techniques, but a lot of people do it, and a lot of people are really good at it. I'm just not that girl, but next week, let's do the pinching technique. Aoife, it's funny you should say that you can watch me fanning all day tonight because I was just mentioning earlier, I think before you joined us, that I'm thinking of posting some just fanning videos of no practice, no talking, just fanning. So I will definitely let you know if that happens. And if that happens, that will be going up on my YouTube channel, which I will post in the description. Annie says pinching's her favorite. Can't wait till next week. If it's your favorite, maybe you just need to come over and do this too, because I might just suck at it. But I'm going to practice and I'm going to try. And next week when we do pinching, I think we will also incorporate some thinner lashes so that we can grab more than 4 or 5D. Because you know, that way we can go more into mega volume as well. What length would you suggest to pull to practice pinching the easiest? Longer is better. not for your client, but longer is better to practice pinching, in my opinion. But if you're going to practice, you should probably practice also with shorter lashes as well, because if you're going to be utilizing that technique for your clients, you're not only going to do one length on them. So I would recommend to have a variety of long and short. Annie says, if you don't mind, I cover my mouth. Annie, we are all in lockdown right now. So as much as I would love to have you over, we are like locked in and locked down. So maybe when this is all over, we can get together. And I actually would love to see your new studio space. I'm so sorry that I missed your grand opening. I really wanted to come. But I saw your photos with your lion dance celebration, and it looked amazing. It looked so good. But yeah, everyone's closed up and, you know, all that fun stuff. So yeah, next week, pinching technique. I don't know which day yet. I did have a request for like an evening. Can you guys let me know in the comments if oh my God, the lion dance. Yeah, it was amazing. Can you guys let me know what time is good for you guys? I always did around 1 my time because it gave me time to put makeup on and wake up and, you know, eat something. But I had somebody say that she's with kids during the day, so an evening practice would be great. Why don't you guys let me know so that I can work around you guys? I know I have people here from all different time zones. So maybe we can do multiples or something, and that way everyone can join in. Do you know what I mean? Maybe not everyone at the same time, but if I do a 1 o'clock, then certain people can join in. If I do like a 7 o'clock at night, then other people can join in. Aileen's 3 hours ahead. Yes, exactly. Which is another reason I did a 1 o'clock Pacific time, because I knew that you guys on the East were 3 hours ahead. Come over, Wendy, and I will order Dragon Dance for you. Oh, they are so cool. Wendy, you've seen them before, right? I need a lion dance troupe to explode lettuce for my personal entertainment. Yeah, it's so cool when they explode their lettuce. Can't wait to see you when everything goes over. Yes. Hey, Fendi, thanks for joining us. We're just about to wrap up, though, because I don't know what time it is, but hang on. Let me check. Oh, it's been like exactly an hour. So daytime is best for me, but I can always watch the video if I can't make it. Thank you for doing these. You're so welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is like my social time with adults and people that I don't want to strangle. So thank you for joining me. And I will always go live in this group because you guys are my peeps. Wendy says, yes, I lived in Singapore, worked quite a lot in China, and especially Hong Kong, and even have my own line mask. That is so cool. Oh, it's 9 p.m. in Ireland right now. Oh, so, okay, so everybody who's watching, maybe just let me know what a good time is for you guys. I can't promise that I can cater to everyone, but there will always be the replay as well, and this video also gets posted on my YouTube. So for people who aren't in this group, if you know people, if you guys know people who are certified lash artists and you guys invite them to join this group, I will assume that you will not invite someone who's not a certified lash artist or like a distributor who doesn't do lashing. So if you guys have people that you want to be in this group as well and watch the lives, and you think that they will get value from it, please add them to the group, and I will assume that if it's you guys adding them, that they are certified lash artists. If they are not certified lash artists, but you still want them to watch the videos, then you can always send them to my YouTube channel because I post these there as well. It's just I go live in this group because you guys are my peeps and I want to answer your questions. Okay? Hey, Tracy. We're about wrapping up, but Melissa says, thank you. I can't wait for pinch because I suck at it. So do I. I actually, you know what? I don't practice it that much. I'm sure like we'd be good at it if we practice, but Wendy says, you're awesome. Thank you so much for being there for all of us as usual. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Aileen says, thank you. You guys are so welcome. I'm just going to turn this camera around so I can say bye to you guys. And then I'm going to check the comments later to see if there's a better time that works for you guys, and then we'll figure that out. Oh, it would help if my camera wasn't covered, I guess. So thank you guys for being here with me. I know we're all pretty isolated right now, and it's nice to get some adult time and some practice time. We want to make sure that we keep practicing, because if you don't use it, you will lose it. And bye, Miranda. Oh, great seeing you too. So yeah, just make sure that you guys are still practicing. See you later, Annie. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Thank you for being here. As I said before, these lives are not a substitute for taking a volume class. If you have not taken a volume class already, please do. They're worth taking. There's a lot of information you get that you will not get just from these practice sessions. Bye, Danya. Thanks for being here. And if you need help looking for one, just send me a message. I'll help you find a good one that might be like, hopefully in your area. I can't promise anything, but I've taken a ton of courses before, volume and classic. And if you guys are looking for a really good one, let me know. I'll try and help you find one that's good for you. Aoife says, thanks for everything, Emily. I love your positive spirit. You're so, thank you. Thank you. Good night. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'll post in the group and on my personal profile when I will be going live next with the next one, which is pinching methods. So for that one, have your tweezers ready, have some 0.07s and 0.05s, and maybe some 0.03s as well. And maybe some nitrile gloves or some finger cots or something, because we should all be practicing with gloves now. So, I mean, we'll go over that next time, but I will see you guys next time, and thanks for being here. Bye, guys.